We are reading out of Joshua 2 today, and it's about Rahab and the red rope. So, in the book of Joshua 2, it's with the spies, right? There's two spies that was sent out. And just to give a little context on what happened, so this is when Moses actually died, and the Lord had commissioned Joshua, who was Moses' assistant, to go to the land which he had given them, the children of Israel, the promised land. For God gave him instructions and commands to be strong and of good courage, and for the people to divide as an inheritance the land which he swore to their forefathers to give them. But they were to observe and do according to all the law which Moses commanded them, and do not turn from it to the right or to the left, that they may prosper wherever they go. So this book of the law shall not depart from our mouths, but we shall meditate in it day and night, that we may observe to do according to all that is written in it. For this is what the command was, right? For then you will make your way prosperous, and then you will have good success. Be strong and of good courage. Do not be afraid, nor be dismayed, meaning anxiety. For the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. Then the order was to cross the Jordan, but you have to go back and read Joshua chapter 1, right? But we're going to go over chapter 2, which he sends out two spies to view the land. Now, Joshua verses 1. Now, Joshua, the son of Nun, sent out two men from Acacia Grove to spy secretly, saying, go view the land, especially Jericho. So they went and came to a house of a harlot named Rahab and lodged there. Okay, knowing that they were spies, right, who secretly, so they basically are undercover, right? Which was wise of them to do that, because if they would have sent so many people, it would attract a lot of heat on them. So he sent out two, which was very wise. But I do want to highlight how they are completely driven by faith in what God promises to them and their people. They were to go, and they went right into action, even if it means risking their lives. Trusting God's plan can be filled with challenges and uncertainties, with faith that there is a divine plan or purpose. You have no control over the outcomes, and trust that God's wisdom exceeds our understanding. So Rahab is a harlot, which means she was a prostitute, and they stayed there. So it must have been a perfect place to hide, probably because people are in and out, right? We're going to read verses 2 to verse 7. And it was told the king of Jericho, saying, behold, men have come here tonight from the children of Israel to search out the country. So the king of Jericho sent to Rahab, saying, bring out the men who have come to you, who have entered your house, for they have come to search out all the country. The woman took the two men and hid them. So she said, yes, the men came to me, but I did not know where they come from, where they're from. And it happened as the gate was being shut, when it is dark, that the men went out. When the men went, I don't know. Pursue them quickly, for you may overtake them. But she had brought them up to the roof and hidden them with the stacks of flax which she had laid in order on the roof. Then the men pursued them by the road to the Jordan, to the fords. And as soon as those who pursued them had gone, they shut the gate. Remember, all these people know and heard of the Israelites, how they left Egypt, how the Lord provided for them day and night by fire at night and cloud during the day, how they were fed and taken care of. Remember, God's provision of manna and quail in the wilderness and water from the rock, how the Lord parted the sea and how they were favored by God. What happened to them was spread throughout the nation, like everybody heard of them. God chose them to enter the promised land, which is a land flowing with milk and honey, where they would flourish and prosper under God's protection and guidance. What they went through marked their journey towards fulfilling their destiny in the promised land. So word spread out, like the word was spread and it was known that they know that these people was just taking over, right? So she lied. Yes, she lied. So she was risking and putting herself on the line for them and hid them. So she really had courage, right? But imagine being questioned by authority and hiding your enemies, right? Enemies, men who happen to be against your own people. But you know that God's protection, like God will make a way even when it looks like there's no way. If she had lied or not, I believe what is God's plan, no man can stop it. So God used her even as a pagan prostitute. We're going to read verses 8 to 14. Now, before they lay down, she came up to them on the roof and she said to the men, I know that the Lord has given you the land, that the terror of you has fallen on us, and that all the inhabitants of the land are faint-hearted because of you. For we have heard how the Lord dried up the water of the Red Sea for you when you came out of Egypt, and what you did to the two kings of the Amorites who were on the other side of the Jordan, Shinon and Og, whom you utterly destroyed. As soon as we heard these things, our hearts melted. Neither did there remain any more courage in anyone because of you. For the Lord of your God, he is God in heaven above and on earth beneath. Now, therefore, I beg you, swear to me by the Lord, since I have shown you kindness, that you also will show kindness to my father's house and given me a true token, and spare my father, my brother, my mother, my brothers, my sisters, and all that they have, and deliver our lives from death. So the men answered her, our lives for yours. If none of you tell this business of ours, and it shall be, when the Lord has given us the land, that we will deal kindly and truly with you. This shows you God's plan. She knows that she knows the plans that the Lord had given them the land, how that it was a divine connection between them, that they hid there in her home, and for her to know that everyone else knows it. Like they're all shook. So because of her faith, saved her herself and her family, and that one little act of obedience, that little bit of faith, that she trusted God with her life. She asked them to swear to her by the Lord, because words and covenants are important. And that was her way of like assurance, right? So according to your words, so it be it. It's an oath. And she wanted to make sure. So kindness goes a long way. And she spared their life to spare hers and her family. Verse 15 to 21. Then she let them down by a rope through the window, for her house was on the city wall. She dwelt on the wall. And she said to them, "Get to the mountain, lest the pursuer meet you. Hide there 3 days until the pursuers have returned. Afterwards, you may go your way." So the men said to her, "We will be blameless of this oath of yours, which you have made us swear, unless when we come into the land, you bind this line of scarlet cord in the window through which you let us down. And unless you bring your father, mother, your brothers, and your father's household in your home, so it shall be that whoever goes outside the doors of your house into the street, his blood shall be on his own head, and we will be guiltless. And whoever is with you in the house, his blood shall be on your head if a hand is laid on him, on our head. So his blood shall be on our head if a hand is laid on him. And if you tell this business of ours, then we will be free from the oath which you made us swear. Then she said, "According to your word, so it be." And she sent them away, and they departed. And she bound the scarlet cord in the window, the red rope. The red rope was to let the army of Israel know not to kill anyone in that home, to spare them. It made me think of the blood of Jesus. Like the blood of Jesus, you will not be saved without the blood of Jesus. The red cord, the red rope is significant. You in the house is counting on this red rope to save your whole entire family. That's a different type of trust. Like you really count on them seeing this red rope, right? And the whole army, you want to make sure the whole army knows that they better spare you and your family, right? Then it was mentioned that they hid for 3 days. And that really stuck out to me. 3 days, that can be significant. But we could dive deeper there and get like a revelation on that. But just know that the plans and purpose God had for Rahab was bigger than just hiding two spies. It was bigger than just sparing her life and her family's lives. Her destiny was bigger than that. It was to marry one of the princes of Judah who ended up being Boaz's mother, and she happened to be in the lineage of Jesus. That's big. So it doesn't matter your past. God can still save you. Nothing is impossible with God. He can work in amazing ways to bring salvation. Even if you are in a place in your life where you think that It's it, right? But I'm here to tell you that it's bigger than you. Can you imagine? You can't even imagine or think of. That's how big it is. So your destiny is so much more than what is in front of you or in front of me. We're just scratching the surface. So I pray that God stretches us and uses us to our fullest potential, bringing glory to his name and blessings to us and those around us, knowing that God equips and empowers us to fulfill his purpose. Even setbacks and detours can be a big part of his refining process, but it's preparing us for greater things. Verses 22 to 24. They departed and went to the mountain, and they stayed there for 3 days until the pursuers returned. The pursuers sought them. The pursuers sought them all the way, but they didn't find them. So the two men returned, descended from the mountain, and crossed over, and they came to Joshua, the son of Nun, and told him all that had befallen them. And they said to Joshua, truly, the Lord has delivered all the land into our hands. For indeed, all the inhabitants of the country are faint hearted because of us. That is encouragement to them, right? So that encouraged them. And not only that, is a confirmation that the Lord has given them the land and it's go time. So whether they had a strategy or not, they knew that the Lord had already given them the land. It not only encouraged them, but it gave them faith. Faith is what you need when the Lord sends you in a battle and know that he is with you no matter what. You win because you're on the winning team. You will have victory, period. So allow God to use you. Rahab was a prostitute. Because of her faith, the red rope of salvation has saved her. Her destiny was fulfilled. Trusting God's destiny for our lives, we find fulfillment, purpose, and joy beyond what we could even imagine. It's our decision to fulfill. He needs our cooperation, but God already knows your destiny. He already has a plan to get you to your destiny. He knows your destiny. He made you for a purpose. He knows the ending to the beginning. So I pray this blesses you. And if you like, please do share, comment. I appreciate it. And if the Lord permits, I'll see you next time.